Welcome back to the Westmoreland Sports Network for another edition of Recruiting Thursday, brought to you by our friends at Sendell Volkswagen in Greensburg. We would love to meet you. Jack Ridenour here with you, and today we have a pleasure to be joined by current Hempfield Area softball player and recent James Madison softball commit, Julia Varhola. Julia, first off, thank you so much for joining us today, and obviously, big congratulations on the recent commitment. How does it feel to have this decision made, especially with the fact that you've got another 2 years ahead of you in high school?
Um, I was very excited to be able to figure out where all I wanted to go and have my journey set for forward in time. But it probably is a little early, but like I said to everyone I know, once I went to JMU, I just knew it would be a future place I would want to play at in college.
Well, what was it about James Madison? And I know we'll get into your recruiting in a little bit, but what was it about the school, the program, the area that ultimately drew you there?
So I would say the environment there was, I literally loved it. And the coaching staff really pulled me in. Like I bonded with them as soon as the first time I met them. I've been to several camps there, and I knew that I just was drawn to the coaches there.
What were the schools that were kind of on the final list and that, ultimately were, maybe secondary to JMU, but that you had filed down to that final few?
So I would say my top two schools were probably in between JMU and University of Southern Florida. And my third one would be Indiana State.
What was that like getting all of that college attention? I read an article and I think you were quoted saying you had about 19 different schools coming to you. So what was that like just having all of that attention surrounding you?
It was very nerve-wracking, and it was exciting. When September 1st came around, I did not expect to wake up with all the interest, but I was very thankful for all of it. And but it was like a little bit of a stressful time, but I was very thankful for all the interest that the schools gave me.
Yeah, it can definitely be a lot. It can be very overwhelming at times with just all of those coaches and especially all coming in at once as well. But have you figured out what you might want to study when you go to James Madison?
Yes, I want to study kinesiology. I want to major in that, and then I want to minor in business, and then end up going to PT school. And uh, the minor in business would be to open my own PT business.
That's awesome. Well, do you think that you would, have you ever thought about maybe wanting to work with a team down the road?
Yes, mostly. I really want to stay around the sport as much as I can. So I know that I want to go as far as I can with softball. Like if I could play professionally, I would really like to. If I'm given that opportunity. Uh, and then stay around the sport as long as I can.
Well, it's very smart of you to have a kind of a plan to make sure that you can stay around softball as long as possible. During this whole recruiting process, obviously, I'm sure playing at a big time program is a very high priority and a very strong academic school as well. But how important was it for you to find a place that, had the other things that kind of add to that college experience, whether it's the college atmosphere, the area, what have you? How important was that added aspect in your college decision?
It was very important. I know when we went on a visit to James Madison that we ended up going to watch a football game there, and the atmosphere and what it was like at the football game was just way different from anything I've ever been around. It was really a great thing to experience there, and it really pulled me in the how it was the environment was, and all the bonding that we got to spend with the coaches there too.
Yeah, it seems like it's a very community oriented place and area. And so being able to have that kind of tight knit community has got to be a great thing for you. And with it also being kind of, kind of aligns with, where you're from with, Hempfield area softball and whatnot. And locally this past summer with the West Point softball team making it to the Little League World Series for softball. So a little bit, talk a little bit about what that says about the area, especially this local area with softball. And, what does that show about the talent that is coming through in this Greensburg area?
Do have a lot of talent. As you know, the high school, my freshman year, we went all the way, won WIPIALs and went all the way and got second in states. And then just like this past season. It might not have went all the way we wanted it to, but we were ranked number 1 in the state with coming back with our whole starting lineup and everything. And there's just a lot of talent through Hempfield. With the West Point team, Coach Tina had so much talent on that team, and it was so exciting to like watch them play and go through and how far they went and beat teams. And it was just so interesting to watch because like those girls are local and we know who they are, and for them to get to play on TV, that's a really cool thing for them.
Yeah, how cool is it to see your head coach on ESPN and on national TV? That had to have been also pretty wild as well, right?
Yeah, that was like I knew she was doing the team. I just didn't know they were doing all that.
Yeah, that's very cool. Well, it was obviously very awesome to watch. And like you said, kind of aligns with how talented the area is with softball players. Then obviously everybody kind of funneling their way to Hempfield area. But I'm glad you brought up last year. Like you said, did not result the way that you guys wanted. But how motivated has this group been coming into the fall and getting ready for the springtime? I mean, how much have you noticed them kind of, everybody coming together and saying, we really want to get back to that WPIAL championship area?
So right now we are doing like fall ball, and like we're gonna try and scrimmage some other high school teams and everything. We haven't really started up with everything, but we will be starting like pitching in the end of October is when we start it, and then conditioning will come right after that. And I have a feeling that this year is that our whole team is going to push as hard as they can because we want to come back to win it again.
Well, what have you been working on specifically and in particular in pitching?
So pitching, I'm always working on something to perfect anything that I can. I pitch like 4 to 5 times a week usually. With that, I'm also a hitter, so I hit too. Pitching, like I've been working on different types of pitches, and I really have been working on hitting my spots so that I become more accurate with my pitching.
Well, you definitely have everything kind of laid out nicely for yourself, a good foundation to build on, and obviously still 2 years ahead of you for a lot of success that you can succeed in at Hempfield area. But Julia, before we get you out of here, do want to hear from you just with you having a couple years until you go to college. What do you hope that you accomplish in that time while you're still at Hempfield?
Well, I do hope that we can, as a team, not just me, can get another WPIAL championship before I graduate, and maybe even a state championship. The experience that I had my freshman year, with it being my first year, it was an amazing thing to like experience with all my friends because our whole team is literally like family. And I really think that our team has so much talent and potential to win it all again. And I just would like to accomplish like winning a championship and before I graduate, and just getting to play with all my friends, like before we all go off to college and won't be able to play together anymore.
Well, definitely have already, like I said, already succeeded a lot, but still a lot to accomplish in the next 2 years. So again, thank you so much for stopping by. Good luck this season and congratulations on the commitment.
Thank you so much.
That's James Madison softball commit Julia Varhola. As always, thanks so much for joining us for another edition of Recruiting Thursday, brought to you by our friends at Sendell Volkswagen in Greensburg. We would love to meet you. Make sure you check out our other Recruiting Thursday features that are available on our YouTube channel. And as always, this is Jack Ridenour signing off, never saying a goodbye, simply a see you later, right here and only on the Westmoreland Sports Network.